Okay, Matt. So is this a good place right here to put presentation? I don't want to mess up your table or anything.
Yeah, this is fine.
This is good. Okay, so I
Yeah,
just lay this here, and this water thing's good here.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so what I want to do is just tell you a little bit about Coolwall and what stucco, wood, and why they use Coolwall. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so they use lead-based paint in the 50s and 60s. Okay, lead-based
Sure.
paint was toxic, so they banned it. Right? We don't
Right.
really need to go too far into that because I know your time is important, but I just want to just a breakdown of what Coolwall actually is and why we're going to use Coolwall and recommend it to you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So after that, in the 60s and 70s, they used oil-based paint. All right, oil-based paint was toxic for the environment. They'd wash brushes, rollers. It would go down into the drains, out into the ocean. Okay, and when that would happen, it was polluting things. It was toxic. So they ended up banning it for commercial uses. So you can buy it in little containers for projects like painting a chair, painting a table, things of that nature, but not commercially, right? You can't buy 5 gallon buckets of it like you would get at Sherman and Williams or Home Depot or any box stores, right?
Right.
Okay, so then they ended up banning that, and then they came out with latex paint, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and they ended up banning that in 2004. The reason why they banned it is because why? Do you know?
I don't.
Okay, they banned it because it's not breathable.
Hmm.
So let me go into another story real quick. Why we have stucco and wood here in Southern California.
Okay.
So this goes all the way back to the 1800s with the Indians, with the Spanish, with the Mexicans. Down there they had adobes, houses, right? Well, that was because adobe houses breathed. They created a product that would breathe. If they were using bricks or anything that didn't breathe here in Southern California, we have a temperature fluctuation of 50 degrees from morning to night, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So sometimes early in the morning it hit 30 degrees, and then towards the afternoon it get up to like 70, 75 degrees in the same day, right? Here in
Right.
Southern California, right? Well, in Texas it ain't like that. In other parts of the country it only fluctuates 12 degrees from morning to night. So there's not a lot of moisture. So in Texas they use a lot of brick homes. Here in Southern California, stucco and wood, right?
Right.
So during this temperature fluctuation, they want the walls to breathe. So wood was meant to breathe. Stucco is meant to breathe. That's why we have stucco homes here, right?
Right.
So if we had brick homes here, we have condensation all over the walls, be dripping on our heads, we'd have mold and mildew growing, a lot of it, because we have too much condensation buildup, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so with stucco, I'm going to get to now back to latex paint and why they banned it. So latex paint was banned in 2004 because of all the lawsuits. A lot of people were going to the courts, lawsuits. Ted Nugent, Aaron Brockovich, other celebrities, Ed McMahon, sued these insurance companies for $10 million, wanted $7 million settlement because their dog died. They were feeling sick. They went in, they were tested, they had mold in their system. So people are getting sick from mold. Why? Why all this mold in the houses? Why 33% of houses in California have mold? Because the walls aren't breathing because we're rolling them in latex paint, right? So this is why they ban latex. But they started lobbying these big multi-billion-dollar painting companies. They started paying millions of dollars to keep this on the shelf so they can come up with another alternative. Well, Texcoat came up with a solution, and I'm going to share that with you today. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so right here, we have this right here is latex paint. It's very, very thin. Feel that?
Yeah.
See how thin that is?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and this right here is our Coolwall, made by Texcoat. If you want to feel that?
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
how thick it is?
Yeah.
It's actually 15 times thicker than latex paint.
Yeah.
I have a demonstration right here. Right here in the demonstration, I have these two blocks. Okay, this right here is your stucco with the latex paint. Go ahead and feel that, how rough that is.
Yeah.
See how rough it is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this right here is your stucco with Coolwall. Feel how thick and smooth that is?
Yeah.
That's a layer is 15 times thicker than this right here.
Mm.
You can actually see right here, it's already starting to crack in the foundation, kind of like the walls of your home, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so, this right here is a much stronger sealer. You're not going to get this with this. Okay?
Okay.
So, in this demonstration right here, you can see the difference between Coolwall and non-Coolwall, and then obviously what I showed you here, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now, I want to show you the patented technology that Texaco came out with that they actually have contract with the U.S. military. Okay, so right here we got the hydrophobic resin, we got the Kynar PVDF, and we got the hydrophobic pigment. Okay, these are the main three ingredients in Coolwall. Okay, so I have some aspirin right here. I'll go ahead and throw a piece of aspirin right here into just plain water, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw an aspirin into the hydrophobic resin.
Okay.
Okay? And while that's just sitting there doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and do another demonstration for you. So right here we got some wooden matches. So these matches right here, and this wood is the wood around your house. The eaves, the fascia, the borders around your windows, or anything that's wood, okay? Right. In your walls, behind the stucco, water penetrates, gets into the wood, it expands the wood, cracks the foundation, right? So that's what water does to wood. It expands it, cracks the foundation before the on the foundation of the walls, and then in the walls you get mold, mildew buildup when moisture gets into the walls as well, right?
Sure.
But like I said, this example is the wood around your house, your fascia, your eaves. Year after year, it's getting wet. Water's getting inside, creates rot, mold, mildew, and eventually you're going to have to just keep replacing more and more wood around your house, right? The water is damaging your home is what we're saying. So with this match right here, this is replicating the wood. We put it right here under water. You see that? You see how there's water dripping off of that wood?
Yeah.
And you can actually see in the wood, there's a little bit of coloring happening there because the water is actually soaking into the wood. So with your eaves and your fascia and the walls, the 2x4s in your walls, this is what's happening. So as you can see right here, you try to light this match, it's not going to light because it's wet. It's absorbed with water. It's not going to light. So let's go ahead and get a fresh match. Dry wood, right? You go ahead and take this wood, you put it in the hydrophobic pigment here, you put it in the water, move it around. Do you see right there? You see how it's waterproof?
Yeah.
There's no water on that wood, right? No penetration into the wood. So this is your home right here. So when water now, when it rains or someone sprays a hose on your house or moisture in the air, it's not going to actually go into the wood of your foundation. It's actually waterproof now. So you don't have to worry about the wood absorbing the water in the walls or on your fascia, your eaves, around your windows or whatnot. So right here, you take the same match, lights right up. It's waterproof, right?
Yeah.
No water penetration.
Yeah.
So I like to show my clients because this is a small example. You can't really see the waterproof barrier around a small match. So I like to take my finger, put my finger right here in the hydrophobic resin, take my other finger right here that's not in the hydrophobic resin, I dip them both inside of the water. Do you see that barrier around my finger?
Yeah.
It's about, it almost looks like a 1/4 inch barrier, right?
Yeah.
Well, I pull it out, look at the difference. My finger that was not in the hydrophobic resin is soaking wet, dripping water, and then my finger that was dipped in the hydrophobic pigment is waterproof.
Yeah, it's wild.
Pretty neat, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so this would be your entire home. Your entire home will be sprayed with these 3 products right here and will become waterproof and will be sealed for a lifetime, 50-year warranty. Okay? So you never have to paint your house again. You never have to worry about water going into your stucco, damaging your stucco year after year, getting into your walls, mold, mildew, damaging the wood, fascia, and eaves. Okay? Yeah. So I'm going to show you another demonstration really quick. So inside of this water right here, you see that this is a piece of stucco in there, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so this stucco right here is basically the stucco around your house. But it's been sprayed with hydrophobic resin, Kynar PVDF, and hydrophobic pigment. Okay?
Okay.
So because it's been sprayed, it's actually waterproof. There's no water penetrating through here. You see how it's not coming through the bottom?
Yeah.
Perfect. So as you see, just go ahead and push this little squeezer right here, and you see how it's breathing?
Yeah.
The air bubbles?
Yeah.
Well, even with our product being waterproof and the water not being able to go through the sealant, it still breathes. And a demonstration I have for you right here is earlier when we put this aspirin in the hydrophobic resin, just go ahead and listen to the sound. You hear that break?
Yeah.
So even though it was sealed, there's still no penetration. But even though there's no penetration, it still breathes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I want to explain to you two very important processes of Coolwall. Okay, we have the flex patch. The flex patch is a very, very thick patch. It's one of the best patching materials on the planet. If you go to Home Depot, Lowe's, or any of these box stores, you buy patch, what does it do? It shrinks and it cracks, right? So majority of patch, if you were to put it on a flat piece of material like this piece of plastic right here, and you were to take one of those patches and bend it, it would crack or it would chip off, right?
Right.
Okay, so with the flex patch, it's very, very strong material. It doesn't shrink, it doesn't crack. It actually expands and it bonds to the cracks in your foundation or your stucco. If you have rotted out stucco, we'll fill it in with this patch. Okay, if you have damaged wood, we fill it in with this patch. Everything we do is with this patch right here. It's very thick. Like I said, it expands, it doesn't crack. Take a look at that. Just go ahead and bend it. You notice how it just doesn't break or flake or crack?
Yeah.
Very strong material, right?
Yeah.
So that is the patch right here that would be patched around your entire home. They call it the flex patch, the smooth flex patch, okay? So then after we patch, we use this right here. It's called a primer. So most primers, go to Home Depot or any other box stores, are really milky and soupy, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
If you take a 5-gallon bucket of primer, you move it around, it's very milky, 70% water, 30% material, right? Well, that's not the case with this. This is 80%, 20%. So this is a very thick primer. Matter of fact, you can't roll it on a house. Like with a normal paint primer, you can roll it, brush it. This you can't roll onto the home. It's too thick. It wouldn't work. So you have to spray it out of 3,000 PSI sprayer. So strong, it just rip a big cut right through your arm, okay? So anyway, in this textured primer, there's a smooth primer, textured primer, but in the primer, there's all these products, which is a hydrophobic resin, the Kynar PVDF, the hydrophobic pigment, okay? And there's also some very, very key elements. There's many key elements, but I'm going to go over 3 elements that are very, very important for you to know about. The first one is perlite. Perlite is used in soil, right? The reason why they use it in soil is so soil can breathe for plants, it won't root rot, okay? Well, we use it in our primer. So what this does is make your walls breathable, and on top of that, makes your home A fire rated. This doesn't catch on fire. Makes your house A fire rated. You get a 20% up to a 20% discount on your homeowner's insurance. Then this product is mildewcide. Mildewcide it doesn't kill mildew. Nothing kills mildew or mold. Even if you spray with bleach, it goes away, it comes right back. So what mildewcide does is it stops it right in its tracks. So it's in our primer. We spray your entire house with our primer, which basically has mildewcide in it. Will stop any mold or mildew from growing. Last thing is diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth they also use in plants. This is fossils and broken seashells from the bottom of the ocean. They put it in plant soils, so if any bugs like root aphids, broad mites, microscopic bugs, it cuts their little bodies, it kills them. So same thing with our home, right? Termites, microscopic bug get into our wood and damage our homes. Well, this is also sprayed in the primer. So you have all 3 of these elements in the primer. There's also more elements. These are the most 3 important elements. Hydrophobic resin, Kynar PVDF, and the hydrophobic pigment, okay? So this technology right here is used by our United States government for our military. So it's coated in our tanks, our ships to keep them cooler, our stealth bombers for infrared signature, heat signature. This product right here keeps your home 40 degrees cooler, up to 40 degrees Fahrenheit cooler. So now when it's so hot outside, it's not really penetrating through our primer. So I'm going to show you an example of how strong our primer actually is, okay? Don't try this at home. Make sure when you go into anybody's houses, you ask them if they're running any type of oxygen or any type of things that can cause an explosion. Obviously, you don't want to have an explosion in anybody's house by lighting this, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, you don't have that?
No.
Okay, perfect. So as you can see, we got a blowtorch flame here. And I'm going to go ahead and put this to the stainless steel ruler. In the middle of the stainless steel ruler right here is our primer. You see how red that's getting?
Yeah.
Burning hot red. Okay, so
It's burning good.
okay, so with how burning hot red this is, if this was just a stainless steel ruler without our primer, it would actually, the heat would go right through to where our fingers are, right? It would start warming up, it getting hot. It'd eventually burn your hand. Well, on this side, where my hand's at, is cold to the touch. Go ahead and feel it. You feel that?
Yeah.
That heat will not penetrate through the primer. So this is the primer I was showing you about?
Yeah.
Showing you? Okay, perfect. So as a demonstration to show you how hot this actually is, it's pretty hot, huh?
Yeah.
So that will not penetrate through our primer, is what brings your temperatures down up to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they use the Kynar technology in skyscrapers. This is a wire. So wires in the skyscrapers, if they catch on fire, the skyscrapers, all the wires in the walls won't catch on fire. They've coated it in Kynar technology. Right here you can see this card is just a normal card. Both sides flex the same, to be fair, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you put one side in water, and you can see it nearly almost dissolves. I mean, look at this thing.
Yeah.
It bends right in half, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the water just penetrating right through the material. Well, this side right here is actually coated in Kynar. So we can hold it underwater, we can move it around, go in circles as long as you want. See, it just stays intact. It's waterproof.
Yeah.
The water just beads right off of it, right?
Wow.
And as an example, I mean, look at this thing, right? Just
Yeah.
totally saturated the water on this side, no saturation. So this right here is your stucco and the wood around your entire house. When it rains or gets wet, it just saturates in water. So when wood saturates in water, it eventually gets mold or mildew or rots, correct?
Correct.
So when it saturates in other materials, it damages them as well, like stucco. Stucco will break down. Eventually, when it breaks down, if you had to do your entire house with stucco again, it's going to cost you $70,000, $80,000, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive stuff. So not only $70,000, $80,000, but now you're going to have to, get it coated again and redo this all over again. So it's safe to say that you would choose Texcoat Coolwall over latex, correct?
Sure, yeah.
You would want Coolwall on your house other than the latex being waterproof, fire retardant, discounting your homeowner's insurance, bring your temperatures down 40 degrees Fahrenheit, save 50% on your electric bills, never have to paint again. It's warranted against chipping, peeling, cracking, and fading for a lifetime. It's good stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's our demonstration today. I went ahead and went over everything with you. We went over the hydrophobic pigment, the Kynar hydrophobic resin, the patch and the texture and the elements that are all in there, okay?
All right.
All right, perfect. One last thing I'd like to do that we actually didn't touch on is I just wanted to show you, even though I showed you how everything works, you see this piece of wood right here?
Yeah.
So the wood on your house right now, if I was to take the same blowtorch, we don't have to do the demonstration here today, light this on fire. It's probably not safe in your house right now to light this wood on fire right here at your table, right? So this right here, if we were to take a blowtorch and just put it on this wood right here, what would happen? It would catch on fire, right?
Sure, yeah.
Well, if we try to do that on this exact same wood with our coating and with our primer here, it wouldn't catch on fire. It's fire rated. So as you can see right here during the demonstration, this is your wood, this is our coating, our primer, and then our color coating. And you can choose up to 500 different colors. Pretty neat stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's our demonstration for today. And do you have any questions?
I don't.
Sound pretty good?
Yeah, it does sound pretty good.
Amazing.